The late afternoon sun poured its golden light across the quiet park. Leaves swayed gently in the wind, their shadows stretching long over the path. Somewhere in the distance, a child's laughter mixed with the soft chirping of birds. It was the kind of day that felt calm on the outside, yet carried an ache deep within for those who were listening to their own thoughts. On a worn wooden bench, Anna sat alone. Her hands rested in her lap, holding a folded piece of paper she had read too many times. Her eyes followed the slow movements of the clouds above, yet her mind was far away. For weeks, Anna had been carrying the heavy weight of a decision. It wasn't about work or money. It wasn't even about her own health. It was about someone she loved, someone she had been trying to hold on to, even as they were slowly slipping away. His name was Daniel. They had met years ago, when both were younger and filled with bright plans. At first, their lives fit together like two puzzle pieces. Every laugh, every late-night conversation, every shared dream seemed to pull them closer. But over time, something changed. Daniel became distant, his voice less warm, his presence more like a shadow than a light. Anna tried to fix it. She tried talking, listening, giving space, closing the space again, doing everything she thought love was supposed to do. She reminded herself of the good times, hoping they would return. But the truth was, the more she held on, the more it hurt, for both of them. And now, the letter in her hands was Daniel's goodbye. Not a harsh goodbye, not cruel, just quiet. He wrote that he needed to find himself again, and that maybe their paths had reached a natural ending. Anna had read the letter dozens of times, hoping the meaning would change, but it never did. The words stayed the same. Her heart, however, felt like it was slowly cracking open. As she sat in the park that day, she realized she was afraid, not of being alone, but of letting go. It felt like giving up. It felt like betraying everything they had been through. A gust of wind stirred the trees above her, and a small, dried leaf landed in her lap. It was light, fragile, yet beautiful in its own way. She held it between her fingers, thinking about how it had once been green and alive, part of something larger. But now, its time on the branch was over. It had let go, not in defeat, but because the season had changed. For the first time, Anna wondered if maybe letting go was not the same as giving up. Maybe it was a way of honoring what had been, while allowing something new to begin. She took a deep breath and closed her eyes. In her mind, she pictured Daniel, not as the man he had become in recent months, but as the person she had first met, full of laughter and hope. She let herself feel the gratitude for those moments. She let herself remember without pain. And then, slowly, she imagined releasing him, like opening her hands to the wind. Not pushing him away, but setting him free. And in that same moment, she felt herself being freed too. When she opened her eyes again, the park seemed different. The air felt softer. The colors around her seemed richer. It wasn't that the sadness had disappeared. It was still there, but it no longer felt like a chain pulling her down. Anna stood from the bench and walked to the small lake at the center of the park. The water shimmered in the sunlight, gentle ripples spreading from where ducks swam lazily. She unfolded Daniel's letter one last time. The handwriting she knew so well looked almost like a piece of art now, lines and curves that told a story she had been part of. She read the words slowly, letting them sink in, and then, without hesitation, she folded the paper again. She placed it carefully in her bag, not to throw away, but to keep as a reminder that not all endings are failures. Anna sat by the lake for a long time, listening to the water and the wind. She noticed how the trees let go of their leaves without fear, how the ducks moved forward without looking back. Nature seemed to understand something she was only beginning to learn, that life is a series of seasons, and holding on too tightly can sometimes stop new growth from happening. A gentle smile touched her lips. For the first time in months, she felt a small flicker of hope. Not the desperate hope that clings, but the quiet hope that trusts life will bring new colors, new chapters, when the time is right. As the sun began to set, painting the sky in soft shades of orange and pink, Anna rose to leave. Her steps were slow, but steady. Each one felt like a soft promise to herself, that she would walk forward, even if the road ahead was still unknown. She glanced back at the bench where she had been sitting earlier. It looked the same, Yet she knew she would never sit there in the same way again. Something inside her had shifted. She was no longer holding on in fear. She was letting go in love. And that, she realized, was the difference. Letting go was not giving up. It was choosing peace over struggle, gratitude over regret. The night air was cool as she left the park. Streetlights flickered on, casting warm circles of light on the ground. Somewhere, music drifted from a nearby cafe. She thought of Daniel again, but this time, the thought did not ache. It simply existed, like a gentle note in a song that had already been played. Anna didn't know exactly what the future would hold. She only knew that she was ready to meet it with open hands and an open heart. Because sometimes, the greatest act of love you can give, to another person, and to yourself, is the grace of letting go.